Hey there, good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. Hope that you're having a fabulous day or you've had a fabulous day. My name is Cyreta Laws-Frumau. I'm a performance and mindset coach with the Proctor Gallagher Institute. And welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going through the book for the month of July, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. If you haven't seen my other videos, please check them out because we started and we're now on chapter 10. This is a great book if you want to achieve a money desire, if you want to become more successful. My mentor, Bob Proctor, the late Bob Proctor, used this book and read it for most of his life, and it's changed his health, his wealth, and his happiness. He was able to achieve a lot just reading this book, along with other things as well. But there are 13 success principles in this book that are guaranteed to make a huge difference in your life. The idea is that it will inspire you to move towards the thing that you want, to take action. So not only just listen to the information, but also take action towards your purpose, your desire. It's the principles in this book and the stories you can research them yourself. Napoleon interviewed over 500 men and women who were successful at a time when it was during the Great Depression. And so during the Great Depression was a very horrible time, was a very tough time for a lot of persons. Yet you had persons that were able to overcome whatever challenges they were going through by applying the principles described in this book. So let's get started. We are on chapter 10, and chapter 10 is the power of the mastermind, the driving force, the 9th step towards riches. We have been speaking about the mastermind in a couple of our chapters. So in previous chapters, we have been speaking already about the power of the mastermind. So now we're going to go a little bit deeper into it. So what is this power? And where can we find it? Why do you need it? For chapter 10, we're going to go into the sources of this power. We're going to talk about gaining power through the mastermind. And we're going to talk about the psychic element of the mastermind. Then I'm going to move into some stories. Well, 2 main stories, Henry Ford and Gandhi. I'm going to talk about those stories, and then we're going to just wrap up the chapter. And this is a short chapter, very powerful. So after today, we're going to move to chapter 11. Okay, so let's get started with chapter 10. So chapter 10, the power of the mastermind. Napoleon says that power is essential for success. That's how he started out. Power is essential for success in the accumulation of money. Plans are useless. They don't have any force without sufficient power to put them into action. So you need something that will push your plans into action. So they need sufficient power. I'm looking at my notes as I'm speaking to you. They need sufficient power to push them into action. He says that power is needed for also to retain money. So not only to get money, but also to retain it, you need this driving force. You need this power. The sources of power. He mentions here 3 sources. The first one, infinite intelligence. So infinite intelligence with the assistance of creative imagination. We mentioned this in a previous chapter as well. When we spoke about the 2 forms of imagination, that was chapter 6. We talked about the creative imagination and the synthetic imagination. So here's where the mastermind, and if I look back on this chapter, it also talks about the vibration, the minds of others. So this is actually a very cool topic. Well, I think so. So infinite intelligence is one source of this power. The second is accumulated experience. And accumulated experience you can find in a library, so, or for us, the internet. You don't need to know everything. So you can find it on the internet, you can find it in books, you can find it in libraries. And it is also taught in public schools and colleges where it's classified, where it's more organized. The third source is experiment and research. And of course, again, this is the gathering, the classifying, and the organizing, of new facts daily. And here too, the creative imagination must be used. So those are the three sources of power. Okay, how do you gain power through the mastermind? So the mastermind is a coordination of knowledge efforts in harmony with two or more persons. So where two or more are gathered and they are operating in harmony, they're basically one, thinking as one. So have a same aim or a same goal, or having the same aim or the same goal, then there's harmony. And there's power in this. If you're a Bible reader, it's also in the Bible where it says that where two or more are gathered, there is power in the midst. And Napoleon reminds us in this chapter to use discrimination in selecting your group. So be careful of who you put in your mastermind. He says that the mastermind is both economic and psychic in nature. The economic is obvious. He's saying to surround yourself with people who can advise, counsel, and also can give personal cooperation to you, and they will help you. So who can help you to accumulate the money that you want? So that's how you gain power through the mastermind. Now, the third point that I want to get into is the psychic element of the mastermind, and this begins on 254. And as I mentioned about where two or more are gathered, Napoleon also states this here. And he's saying, he's making mention that the psychic phase of the mastermind principle is difficult to comprehend because he's referring to spiritual forces, so the unseen. And he also states, no two minds ever come together without thereby creating a third invisible, intangible force, which may be likened to a third mind. And we spoke about this also in a previous chapter, where the two known elements in our universe are energy and matter. And so if you want to read a little bit more about that, that's talking about the psychic phase of the mastermind. Okay, we mentioned this already, like I said, in a previous chapter. The other point I want to point out is Andrew Carnegie attributed his entire fortune to the power of this mastermind. So Andrew Carnegie, who commissioned Napoleon Hill, who was the wealthiest man at the time that this book was written, he said that his entire fortune, he gave tribute to it, to the power of the mastermind. Napoleon also goes on to state that some brains, as we know, are more efficient than others. And I like this, where he likened the brain to a battery. And of course, where there's one battery, there's power, but when there's more than one battery, there is more power, more energy. And he says that it's similar to the brain. So a group of brains will provide more energy than a single mind. So that's just food for thought. Okay, let's move on to the stories. The first story is that of Henry Ford. So Henry Ford, he was poor, he was illiterate, and he was ignorant. Poor, illiterate, ignorant. So everything was going against him, basically, right? Well, there was a lot going against him. Yet, he became one of the richest men in America at the time. And his personal fortune started to change when he became personal friends with Thomas Edison, Harvey Firestone, John Burroughs, and Luther Burbank. And Napoleon states here that these men, each of these men had great brain capacity. And you know, something that comes to my mind when I was reading this is where it always says that you should be if you're the smartest one in your group, then it's time to change the group. So you should surround yourself with people that you can learn from. If you only have friends that you are the one that is constantly teaching them, then you won't be able to grow. So don't be afraid to reach out or seek persons that you can learn from. And Napoleon goes on to say that men take on the nature and the habits and the power of thought of those with whom they associate with in spirit of sympathy and harmony. So here he's talking about the vibration of thought. So the vibration of the people that you surround yourself with, the vibration of their thoughts will be absorbed into your own mind. So you really have to be careful of your friends. There's another saying that you probably would have heard as well, where they say that if you look at your 5 closest friends, you can basically predict your salary, your income, your revenue in your business. And this is where the invisible force, the psychic power of the mastermind comes in, right? The next person that I want to talk about and that Napoleon goes on to talk about is Gandhi. So he says that Gandhi at the time was one of the most powerful men that ever lived. And even till today, he's one of the most powerful men that ever lived. Though his power was passive, it was real. And what was this power? This power was a power that induced 200 million people to coordinate with mind and body through the spirit of harmony for a definite purpose. So Gandhi was able to get 200 million people in one spirit, in one harmony, going toward a purpose. Napoleon likens this to a miracle. And of course, you have to agree with him because he says, think about it, you know, just even at work or in your own family, trying to get 2 or more persons to come together for something, it is not that easy. And here, 200 million people in one purpose, in harmony, in sympathy with a cause is something of a miracle. And it shows the power, the psychic power, the invisible power. So Gandhi, great one to look at. All right, so that's it for the stories, only 2 main stories in this chapter. In summary, want to say that when you mix with other great brains, the vibration of thought will be absorbed into your own thought, in your own mind. So you take on the nature and the habits of power of thought with those who you associate with. So those persons who you hang around, you absorb their thoughts. In the last part of the chapter, Napoleon speaks about money. He says money is shy and elusive. It's like a maiden. So a maiden back then was someone who was, didn't have a lot of, I guess, yeah, maybe it would be like a virgin back then. So very shy, very timid, elusive to themselves. Money is like that. So money must be wooed. Power used to pursue money must be mixed with faith. So the power that you're going to use to pursue money must be mixed with faith, desire, and persistence. Then you apply your plan, and then you set your plan into action. Really powerful what he says after, because he says poverty needs no plan. It doesn't need any help because it's bold and ruthless. So it doesn't take much effort to be poor because it's bold and it's rootless. Definitely something to think about. He says riches are shy and timid and must be attracted. And this is here when the law of attraction comes in, the power of the mastermind. In closing, I want to read a statement that is found on page 262 of my book. He says, anybody can wish for riches. Anybody can wish for riches. And most people do, but only a few know that a definite plan plus a burning desire for wealth are the only dependable means of accumulating wealth. So only a definite plan plus a burning desire for wealth are the only dependable means of accumulating wealth. So if you want a surefire way of getting the money, gold that you want, then there you go. Burning desire, definite plan. All right, so that's it for me today. We are finished with chapter 10. We'll be moving on to chapter 11 tomorrow. We're doing pretty good. So we have chapter 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we have 5 chapters to go and some really good stuff coming up ahead. Thank you so much for listening. I will catch you in my next video. Do have yourselves an amazing day and take care.